All right, 1.2, apply order of operations. Hopefully this will be kind of a refresher for you from pre-algebra, and maybe even from your 6th grade math, whatever that was for you. And it's usually like, for us, it's a little bit more of like a basic math, but hopefully this is something you've been seeing for a couple of years now, so this will be more of like a review. But basically our order of operations is the order in which we have to do certain math problems so that you make sure that you get them right. When you were in elementary school, your teacher probably rattled off a set of like a sequence of numbers. They were probably like 5 plus 7 minus 2 times 10, and they did something like that, and then you got to the end and they like, you had to like turn around and like say the answer or something like that, or you had to write the answer down on your paper or whatever. Well, that's fine, but that's not our order of operations for how we can go about solving math problems at this point. So not that that's a bad thing that you learn when you're younger, but it just doesn't give us the correct mathematical answer for problems if it was like written out. So the first step, or the kind of like acronym that people usually use, is either PEMDAS, or you may sometimes see them say GYMDAS instead of that. And so they used to always say PEMDAS with P meaning like parentheses, but people would get confused when there were other types of grouping symbols, because there's all different types that we can have. So now they've more so gone to what they call GYMDAS, so that it is like parentheses or grouping symbols. So this can be anything from a parentheses, a set of brackets, a fraction bar with stuff above and below it. Trying to think of some other ones. Those are kind of the most common ones that you'll see, but anything inside of a parentheses or a grouping symbol we do first. We don't have as much, well, I say that, maybe we do. I'm not gonna. With the fraction bar, basically it says do the stuff on top first, then do the stuff on the bottom, then combine it. So grouping symbols are always like, we want to do that part first. Then our E is for exponent, or some people would say like evaluate the power. So anything raised to a power, we would want to do next. Then these next steps, multiplication and division, these are done right to left. I mean, left to right. I cannot. Left to right. So in whatever order you hit them in the problem, that's the order that you do them. And then same thing for addition and subtraction. These work at the same time. These are also left to right. Does this sound familiar? Heard this before? Okay, good. All right, so basically, if we have something like 2 and then a bracket, and then inside that we have a parentheses, 9 plus 3, close that parentheses, divided by 4, and then we close that bracket. The first thing that I would do is the stuff in this innermost parentheses. So I would do the 9 plus 3 first to get 12, and then copy everything else down. So then the next thing I would do is inside those brackets, I still have stuff. So then I would do 12 divided by 4, which is 3. And then ultimately I have the 2 out here that needs to be multiplied by what was inside. And so 2 times 3 is 6, which would be my final answer on one like that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump right into some problems because that's the best way to review this type of stuff. So these ones just say to evaluate the expression. Some of them later are going to have a variable in them, and they may tell you what that variable is equal to. I think we were doing something like that yesterday, but I've been doing that in a couple classes, so it might not be your class, might be a different class. But number 4, 8 minus 2 squared. So in my order of operations, I don't have any grouping symbols in this one, but I do have an exponent. And so this is 8 minus 2 squared. So 2 squared would be what? 4. So this would be 8 minus 4, which then is what? Look at that. It's going to solve it for me. I'm going to turn that off so that it doesn't keep doing that, though. So the answer to that one was 4. 6. 5 times 2 cubed plus 7.
Do you know if, like, the numbers are different? Like, I know that some are, but, like...
Some are, and we don't need to fill all of them.
Okay. I can go empty some.
Yeah, and Kalia's lid needs to be replaced, so I was going to swap her lid with a different one that we don't need.
Okay.
Let me find a list of numbers.
And then I can... Is there a certain marker that we use? That isn't... I couldn't find the silver one. If that is in the kitchen.
List of numbers there. See, I moved all my Sharpies and I don't really know where I put them. Oh. I think they were using either...
They're
using
using
a
a
silver
silver one.
I don't have silver, those are the only ones I have. But my silver may have died. But this is the same as the type of silver one. What class are you? 4th hour? 2nd box. Alright, so I don't have grouping symbols, so what would my first thing I need to do be?
Exponent.
The exponent. So 2 cubed would be what?
8.
Yep. Yep, so then I've got 5 times 8 plus 7. What's the next thing I have to do? Yep, 5 times 8, which is 40, and then plus 7 is?
47.
Yep, 47. Trying to find one that's a little harder. 12. 24 plus 4 times 3 plus 1. So what would I have to do first according to order of operations?
4 times 3. 3 plus 1.
Yep, 3 plus 1. We always do what's inside the parentheses first. So this would be 24 plus 4 times 4. Now what do I have to do next? 4 times 4. So I've got 24 plus 16, which gives me 40. Um, 16. 1/6 times 6 plus 18. That's all in parentheses. Minus 2 squared. What would be first on this one?
6 plus 8.
Yep, so I've got 1/6 times 24. Now, if you want to just save without having to write something like again, we could go ahead. Then our next thing would be what?
1/6
Nope.
times 2.
Yeah, exponents would have been next. So I can go ahead and do this at the same time if I want to. So this would be minus 4. So if you want to do something like at the same time to try to save you a couple steps, I'm okay with that. So then now we can do the 1/6 times 24, and what is that? 4. Then 4 minus 4, we get 0. That's always exciting. All right, I want you to try this next one on your own, and then we'll go over it. So I'll see what we get for our answers. This is 8, then a bracket, and I've got 20 minus, and then a parentheses, 9 minus 5, and then squared, and then close the bracket. So take a minute and do that one, and then we'll see what everybody got. Do you have an answer? What do we get? Does everybody agree with that? Awesome. Yep. So we did this up in parentheses first, then we squared it, and then finished off with what's in the bracket, and then ultimately multiplied. Good. Any questions on those ones? All right, the next ones are going to give us or have a variable in them, and then we're going to have to plug in the number for the variable to solve these ones. So 24. 6t squared minus 13 when t equals 2. So I'm going to replace t with 2. So I'll have 6 times 2 squared minus 13.
Do you want us to keep these downstairs?
Yeah, because I'm not carrying them downstairs later.
Okay, that was the last one.
So what do I need to do first? Square the 2, so I would get what?
4.
Yep, so this will be 6 times 4 minus 13. 6 times 4 is?
24.
Minus 13 is?
11.
Yep. So if y'all can do that without having to write down every single little step, obviously feel free to do that. But if you need to write them all out, that's also totally fine. 26. 5 times w minus 4 when w is equal to 7. So I'm going to replace. I've got 5 times 7 minus 4. What's my first step here? 7 minus 4, which is? So then I've got 5 times 3. It's 15. Yep. Y'all seem like y'all got this under control. All right, 2 that have a fraction bar, and then we'll basically be done. 28, I've got on top 9x plus 4 over on the bottom 3x plus 1 when x is equal to 7. So I'm going to replace first. So I've got 9 times 7 plus 4 over 3 times 7 plus 1. So usually I work down when I do problems, but if I have a problem like this that has the fraction bar, I usually actually work left to right, but that's, again, purely up to you. So anytime I have a problem like this, I need to work the top first and then the bottom, like separately, and then if I can reduce that fraction at the end, that's what I'll do. So I've got on top 9 times 7 plus 4. So I need to do the multiplication first. What's 9 times 7 plus 4? Yep, 67. I'm trying to save some writing. And then on the bottom, 3 times 7 plus 1. And it is totally fine to leave it like that. I have a feeling you've been told before you can't leave things improper, but I like things improper. The answer in the back is going to give you it as like 3 and 1/22 because they like mixed numbers. But later in math, improper fractions are actually better, so I'm just training you now just to leave them improper. But if you change it to a mixed number, I'm not going to mark it wrong. But improper fractions make me happy if I have to have fractions. Last year's class hated fractions. Do y'all hate fractions too? Okay. Every time I gave them a problem with fractions, they were like, no, we don't want to do this one. I was like, sorry, have to do fractions. All right, last one, unless y'all have questions. 30 b cubed minus 21 over 5b plus 9. And b is equal to 3. So I'm going to plug in. I've got 3 cubed minus 21 over 5 times 3 plus 9. So what do I have on top? 6, because that would be 27 minus 21, so that gives me 6. And then what about the bottom? So then, am I able to reduce it?
1/4.
Yep, 1/4. So anytime we can reduce a fraction, even if it's improper, if we can reduce it, we want to reduce it down as far as possible. Obviously, if we can't, something like the one above it, it's fine to leave it like that, but we like to reduce them if we can. Any questions on this stuff? Feeling all right about it? All right, problems then are 3, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25, 27, and 29.